Peace to the gods, and welcome to another broadcast of our In the Circle Ministries, our YouTube virtual ministry. And this is our What's Up Wednesday show. And as I was saying before, this is our virtual YouTube ministry where we take things and put them up under the microscope. We make our plural eyes single. We're able to see things with one narrative, with one perspective, practicing on seeing things through our spiritual eye, seeing things from a higher conscience, and examining everything from their perspective in our life and taking away the truth. So the concept of taking things up under the microscope is taking your plural eyes and getting a single look at it with it magnified or getting it blown up to the point whereas you can see everything in its truest form. And doing that and taking away from up under the microscope the things that we see and the truth that we see, and we take those things and apply them into our lives. So, and that is also a principle or practice that we have into self mastery. Another thing we talk about here on this channel, maybe categorized or said and um, acknowledged in different ways, or you could say the same thing for the same thing, but for here we call it self mastery. Focusing on oneself, going within thyself, mastering your lower conscious, allowing this higher nature of yourself, or what we would call the Christ consciousness, to elevate you to the highest of the highest consciousness of God, and allowing that consciousness to have rule and dictatorship over your life. Um, so with that, you can hear all the way through scriptures or all the way through what we call the library, the Bible here. You can go through the Bible and see in different times where they talk about God having this, or you surrendering and giving God this power, this authority over your life. God being the author and the omega, the author and the finisher of your faith. God being the beginning and the ending, being your be all, being the place where you put all your help, where you put all your support, you put all your faith, you put all your belief, and you put all of the your energy into him or it, and receiving the promises of that protection of God or the blessings of God, and entering into heaven and entering into this place of eternal bliss and not eternal damnation. But so you're gonna you if you growed up like I did and you understand where I'm coming from, these things are what you've placed in those positions in your life, or that's what you know them as, or you've come to know them as, or the way um, you acknowledge them. Um, if you're in a religious set of Christianity or whatever it may be, whatever that religion may be, up under that custom of Christianity that I was raised up under, those are the way that you view and see, or we was taught to view and see and understand God. But the self master here is allowing that God consciousness and understanding that this God energy that we are here on this channel is that it is the force that you really are. You are that being that is invisible but is made evidence through voice. Whether you're speaking through your vocal cords, or you're speaking through your mouth, or you're speaking inside of yourself. When you're not speaking with your throat and your mouth, you're not orally speaking, but when you're speaking internally, who, what, when, where, and of that being, that being is who you are. So, um, well, thank you for coming on to the night show. This What's Up Wednesday show, and the title that is, I believe, is "Who is the Greatest in the Kingdom," and we'll get to that. But hope you continuously working on mastering yourself, or your self mastery, allowing the real inner, the real person that you are, the real energy force in the God that you are, to bring forth all the things that are already ordained and and given to you to have in this life for the prosperity, for the wisdom, for the knowledge, for the understanding, and all things that you're going to partake in, and the reason why you're here. So, um, hope you're continuously working on that and continuously growing in that, and always allowing self evaluation to take place and allow yourself to be truthful with yourself and the things that results from your self examinations, and whatever area or whatever position you may be in, or whatever area you're examining in your life, or you're putting under the microscope, that you're truthful with the results that you see. Be truthful if you're in your lower self, and if you're in your lower consciousness, even if you're not operating from your Christ consciousness, be truthful in that lower consciousness about what you see, feel, think, and how you view whatever it is that you're examining. And even in your Christ consciousness, let that truth be that truth that you see, feel, and experience in that one, and in your God consciousness, and even in your confusing consciousness or whatever it may be. Allow those feelings to take place, so as you can be truthful in those areas, you can see the truth in them, and the truth is it's what would set one free. The truth is what sets you free. The truth will set you free. It's another thing out of the scriptures of the library called the Bible. Having that truth, not just in knowledge, having that truth and applying it is what sets you free. Having the truth does no good, but applying truth is where it comes, like we talked about in the last videos or past videos of knowledge is power, but only when it's applied. You can have the knowledge, but it's only good when it's applied. So you can have the knowledge, you can have the blueprint for the building, but it does no good till you build the building, till you build the home, till you build the automobile, or whatever it may be that you're building. Having the blueprint and all the knowledge of it, and able to see it on paper, engineer from an engineering standpoint. You got to be able to engineer into fruition. You got to bring it from that place of non-existence, only in your mind and your thought, or however that may be, into a place where everyone around can tangibly see it, taste it, smell it, or observe it. Bringing that thing that's that God, same God sense that we are, to bring those things from a place of existence, invisible to the physical eye, but bring it to a lower vibrational place to where it's existing, and that's God. But excuse me. Once we're able to do those things, we can take those truths and apply them to our lives and get the results that those truths will bring into your life, not the results you desire or you would like, or for what purpose the truth to bring to you, but for what the truth in itself speaks and promises and will bring. So when you labor, or we talk about look, laboring up under correct knowledge. When you're laboring up under the correct knowledge and trying to apply that knowledge to get the results that you want, you must be able to labor, um, and put that thing to action, whatever that thought may be, the idea may be, that belief may be, and it's going to bring a result. So once you put those things up under the microscope into why do I believe this, I have, and no matter where your answer may be, to comes to why you believe in it, if it was internal, external, if it was in a broad scope of the external, how you receive it from someone else, no matter the relationship that they are, um, to you, involved in your life, or they're just from TV or school, or whatever that broad category of external, or the broad category of internal, whatever category you go into, that you, why do you believe this thing, and why is it truth to you, or what are you believing this thing to bring, or to produce in your life by believing in it, and what are the results of having that belief in that thing, and the result that it's going to bring, if it brings about the results you believe they're going to do, or is it continuously bringing about the same type of results? So that's when you can evaluate and see if that same type of result is the truth of that thing, despite of your belief, no matter where it came from. Can you take the truth of that and evaluate it for what it is, and say no matter why I believe it or where I got it from, this is the truth, despite what I believe or want it to, will it or can it ever produce and give me the outcome that I desire from it, from the way that it's acting and the results I'm getting now? No, no, it can't. So no matter whatever, however it may be, that's on you to decide and for you to understand and for you to come to grips with. No matter whatever that thing is, you have a bunch of the microscope into the self mastery. But tonight, before the show is over with, I'm gonna be able to share my thoughts and my opinions and give you my experiences with them, and then maybe it'll help you have a understanding or have a scene. What's up with this? And to why let me turn it down a little bit. And to why and figure out the height, who is the greatest in the kingdom and where the kingdom is and all those little things. So if you're familiar with the channel, you're gonna know. So like and subscribe to the channel as well. Also go to the description area. If you're having a problem with understanding what's going on in my description section with the paid promotions and all those other things, go back and watch previous videos. But go to the description section of the videos and go to the Inner Circle Ministries and find the Inner Circle University and find out the things that are offered there through donations. Find out about the Dr. Grave and the how to win in court without a lawyer. Go back and understand that we listen to some of the things that we offer, or go to the website and see what we offer for the Inner Circle LLC with the home repair and the automotive service in South and North Carolina. But go check those things out. But um, before we get to those verses and talk about those things, I feel like I'm allowing the spirit to do what it does and allow what need to be said to be said. So as we go through, as I was saying before, and examine those things in those areas, whatever it may be, if it's from your thoughts and your ideals on what's a perfect individual to be in a relationship, or what's the perfect man that you should be for the perfect woman, and or the perfect woman for the perfect man, or to be the perfect father in a perfect family, or the perfect wife in a perfect family, granddaddy, uncle, niece, nephew, employee, whatever. However, the best Christian, the best Muslim, the best Buddhist, the best atheist, the best nun, whatever, the best Republican, Democrat, or the what's the other party that they have where you can't, you really not either neither one of them, but either way it goes, examine those things and continue to grow so as you can get the results that you want out of this life, and the things that you want out of this life and desire your life. If you're not seeing a lot of those things in your life, this is where you go back and do the examining. This is why you take things up under the microscope. You either want to understand more about the goodness of the life that you're living, or the life or the understanding that you have, or you want to examine why the bullshit or the other things happening in your life, and you want to eliminate those things. So there's only just a couple of reasons why you put things up under the microscope outside of curiosity. We bring other things also into our psyche, into our consciousness, or to our single eye, and we put that thing up under the microscope and find the truth in those things. And however they can be, and if they can be applied to your life, apply them. If they can't be, then put them on the shelf, because you never know when they can be applied. But those are some of the tools and the things that you do, that I do to help me in my self mastery and go about examining things. Even if it's down to the favorite things that I like to eat. Why is it one of the favorite things I like to eat? Is it tied to my psyche? Is it tied to something I growed up with? Is it because my mama prepared it, and I love the way my mama prepared it, and it was one of my favorite foods since I was childhood? Or is it just because it was mama that prepared it, and I only like the way that mama prepared it? Or is it tied to grandmama? Or is it tied to any other thing, emotional or psychologically, that can be attached to whatever? That's why my favorite food. Just saying, using that for a small example. So if I take that for my favorite food, and this is my favorite food, there's a lot of other foods that I never ever had the opportunity to become my favorite. It's when I take that thing up under the microscope and examine it. Why is it my favorite? For me, is when I was able to venture out and to try other things and put other things into, like now I have a new favorite food. Still love my potato salad. Don't get me wrong. But there's other things that I love as well as I love potato salad. If that makes sense. So continue to grow in yourself, mastery. Continue to grow within yourself. Continue to be truthful within yourself with all things that you do. Okay. So I didn't want to pull it up tonight on the computer and go back and forth on the stream, but I will read it from Matthew 18 and who is the greatest in the kingdom. And as we do every time, that I read scriptures or read anything out of the Bible or out of the library called the Bible, the collection of 66 selected books by well over 66 authors. But anyway, the good the good information, the good nuggets and the truth and being able to understand and have overstanding about certain parables, certain what's the other word I'm looking for? Other metaphors and things of that nature. Just as well as we have other literatures back in the day, we will call it folklore or whatever, things that will help us. They will say not for say to help us, but it was given to us, illustrated to us in a way to help us like receive it, so that we could take it and put it to applicable use. If you got it on an elementary level, then you should better receive it on an elementary level and apply it to your life on a elementary level. But anyway, so who is the greatest in the kingdom? And we're gonna go with starting with Matthew 18, and we're gonna read a few verses. And we'll see however the night comes out, how it comes about. Matthew 18, starting at 1, it says, at that same time came the disciples unto Jesus, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as the little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as the little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Uh, And whosoever shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me. Then it goes and talks to the offense and all these other things, but I'm just going to stop right here with it and giving you my rendition, my understanding, and the way that I see it. It's like, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? So you have Jesus and his 12 disciples, and he had other disciples than 12, but most of the time we preach about the 12 that was pulled through, but he had other disciples. But anyway, um, we're asking Jesus who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, you know. Um, so Jesus didn't say God. Jesus didn't say that I will be given all power, I will be given all authority, I will be given everything that my Father have, and the kingdom of heaven will be given and set up under my rule and my authority. That is my kingdom. My Father has done it and give it to me. The Most High God has set it up and given me this kingdom. As I be seated on His right hand, me and Him become one. There won't be nothing done that we have not already decided and operate on. Outside of the renditions and revelations about the eternal life and what's going to go on into the heaven after the lake of fire, etc., etc., Jesus didn't go into none of that because, from my understanding, Jesus wasn't speaking or communicating in the way that we're still doing today, viewing the kingdom of heaven as a physical, spiritual place, if that makes sense. As it's more physical. It's more earthly than it is heavenly. Heaven has more earthly resemblance and more earthly, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It describes more earthly things and the way that you're gonna live into the afterlife. You're just gonna live like you're on earth with no pain, no sorrow. You're gonna live forever, and it's gonna be joy and happiness forever and ever. So you're gonna be still living like you're on the earth, absent of all those things. But the kingdom of heaven, in the sense that I've understand it or know it is the caustic record, the infinite consciousness. This is the consciousness that everything is connected to, everything derived from this source of energy that is this invisible thing that we call thought, energy, mass, or God, our inner being, the person or the energy or the thing that is speaking, hearing, thinking, and all this when we close our eyes and close our mouth and we have thoughts. That energy for that all eternal mass. That's what we're all from. And so, what is the greatest force inside of this kingdom of heaven? We talked about it before in other places. Jesus said he brought a child and told him it's just through because it was anyway. He brought the little boy or brought him the child, the little kid, and set him before him and said, "Unless you are converted." And even though I'm not reading in the original language, but I'm gonna read it for what it says here. He said that therefore you humble himself as a little child. Okay. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as his little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So them two verses and those two passages or those two scriptures is what everything hinges on. So, verily, verily, I say to you, except you be converted, converted meaning to be changed, switched into, and become as a little, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So, until you can be converted, brought back from a state, and you can understand one thing about a child is that a child is as innocent as one of these children. They're as innocent and as pure and is untouched and highly proportionally not contaminated by the world, the family, religion, and all these other things. I don't think he brought a teenager. I thought he brought a little children. When he said little small children right here, that's going to ask you a lot of why. But why is this way? And a lot of what? What is this? What is that? Granddaddy, what is this? What you doing? You know, well, why? A lot of that innocence, a lot of that pure energy is what's going to allow you to graduate and grow into the kingdom of heaven or with inside of the kingdom of heaven. It allows you to be in a place of receivertude into the kingdom of heaven. When I was preaching inside the church, I used it as being able to reach into the treasury of God or reach into the treasury of the kingdom of heaven and attain what you want through your faith, your ability to act upon that what you believe in. A child would act upon only that which they believe in. Even, and I'm not speaking on a crazy, so just keep it right here. We're not talking about craziness, but a kid to be able to go out there and pick up a snake, and you'll rarely hear about a kid getting bit by the damn snake. We'll bring the snake to the adult and will not recognize, understand, or pick up fear in that snake to allow harm from that snake to come to them, unless it was given by that parent or that adult. But the child picked it up with the he was operating inside the kingdom of heaven. This is just a snake. It's not harmful. It's just here. It's not gonna bother me. It's not gonna bother you. I'm gonna set it down. I'm gonna let it go. But anyway, that source of innocence and knowledge, and I believe in that sense of operating from a vibrational place, that the kids are operating from a place of not rhyme, reason, and logic. In a sense, they only have God's law. They only have universal law inside of them. Then they didn't know what's right and what's wrong, and they know what is dangerous and what's not. They know what to do and what's not to do. They are cautious. If you watch certain kids at certain ages and all this stuff, they're cautious about dangerous certain things. But there's some things they are carefree about, and there is no danger in that thing because there's no danger for them. But anyway, unless you can believe like a child, like a children, you can be back to factory reset. You can be back before you were programmed, or all the programming that you allowed, that you've taken in and you've taken for your truth, your knowledge, your perspective, your beliefs, your foundations, your everything. Because once you've attained the truth, once you attained everything, you can never gain anything else. I hope you understand that. Closed fist can't get anything. Closed mouth can't get fed. Can't ask for it. But anyway, when you've already attained the truth, you locked and secured and boarded up. You guarded your eyes. You've guarded your ears. You've guarded your mouth, and you've made sure that ain't no more other falselyhood gonna get in. Then outside of your belief, your perspective, your truth, and all of that, what makes that absolute truth, and what bars any other or the rest of the truth to come. So you grow in a place, you get in a place, you stay. You never become the butterfly. You never go into the cocoon. You stay the caterpillar. You never grow into the universal butterfly that you're supposed to transform to. You never get to go to the next level of ascension, and vibrate on the next level. You stay primitive. And saying that in a sense of saying this is that once that becomes your truth and your thing, from my experience here, that's what it was. It was until I was able to let go of that truth, let go of all of those beliefs, let go of all those perspectives, to bring other things under the microscope and to examine other things, without able to see that that truth was only good for that place, and that truth could not go to where this truth was going. Even though it was a part of this truth, it does not do any good up here. It's just foundational. Once you build a foundation, they call it a footer. You're gonna dig so far in the earth, you're gonna have a concrete truck to come out there. They're gonna put concrete in these, most time 2 foot wide, and so foot 12 inches to 16 inches, sometimes 6 inches deep, concrete slab. And then once that is done, it's over with. But that is the most important part about your damn house or building that you can have. If that ain't right, ain't nothing else above on top of it gonna be worth a damn. You ain't gotta tear the building down. It's gonna self destruct in itself. It won't last. It won't be right. So the foundation is fucked up, the rest of it is. But what I'm saying is that foundational part has its great purpose, but it's covered up. And once it's covered up, well, before it's covered up, you build on top of the foundation, and a certain part of the foundation is covered up, and then you see above ground level. Then you see the house or whatever the building is at ground level, where the grass is growing and everything above that. So, so there's certain components inside of that house or the side of that building that goes. So from that structure that goes on the side of the building, the roof is made out of a different structure, and it's done a different way. You got the roof, you're gonna say you got the building, and you got the foundation. All play their part. Yeah, that foundational truth might have been good down there if you understand that that foundational truth wasn't absolute truth. It was just a truth for the foundation. The building truth that you're building on and you're building upon that foundation isn't the same truth as that foundation, but it's in the same building makeup and the principle of growing or building the building until you get to the roof. And the roof is built up under the same principles and the same rules, but they're not built up under the same thing as the foundation or the building. But it's built with its own purpose, and its truth is its own truth. This is what they call, this is another Masonic or whatever secret. This is about being on the square, staying on your square, staying with the you know, the square and all signals, or however you get it right. You find the square. Anyway, so everything is square and plumb. The foundation has got to be square and plumb. Then you move on to the next. So what I'm saying is you can't get to the next level without having some foundational truth. But you got to better release some of this foundational truth and to grow into more truth on the next level or to the higher level or to the next higher or whatever. So to be able to come back as a child and to understand that you're going to continuously stay hungry and thirsty for righteousness or for um, overstanding. You want to have an overstanding so you can use whatever knowledge you have to your disposal for your betterment at will, instead of you being used at will by different things, and they're going to give you different results and get you jacked up out here. So there's a truth in a thing that I want to use or I'm going to use in my life to produce happiness, joy, financial gain, whatever it may be. I want to use it and get that same result every time. So, so to enter into the place of the kingdom of heaven and to enter into this place of overstanding and to enter into this place of inside of yourself, or to get to that place, you're gonna have to stay at a place as a little child, meaning that everything that you do know, that you're prideful about, your ego is standing on, and everything that you're boisterous about, your own wisdom, knowledge, and your understanding that has gotten you to the places you've gotten you to, and it still haven't gotten you to the place you want to fucking be to, then you have to realize you have to realize that thing for what it is. But like a child will ask why, and you give them the reason why, they're gonna want to operate that way. And if it's a reason why it's not getting right, he gonna want to know why ain't it working this way. Okay, well, teach me how to make it work right, where I can get it the way I want it to. And serious and sincere about it. So them are the small for me. Those are the small areas or different areas that you can relate to or related to as coming back to a child and understanding in those areas. And but then forget everything that you do know to grow into that you can't get into or grow into the more knowledge and understanding or overstanding of things that you're already involved with. So to enter into that place is about like entering into the rest of God. Enter into that place of where everything takes care of itself. So and you hear us saying about humble yourself like that. A lot of time our pride won't allow us to do it because of our tradition, our upbringing, our beliefs, our perspectives. These are all things the Bible says it's harder for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. It's easier for a camel to enter into the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because to a rich man, when you understand what is real wealth, it's not money, it's not financial shit, it's not the commodity that we know as medium of exchange. The man's real wealth or a woman's real wealth is her thoughts, her intentions, her beliefs, her perspectives, and their opinions. That is their wealth. And they can be built by bias, prejudice, religion. It can be stampled by geographical circumstances, economical circumstances, financial circumstances, or whatever it may be, cultural circumstances, um, um, biological circumstance, whatever it may be, all those things can play a part into it, but that's what it boils down to, you know? Those are your riches. So it says that where a man's heart is where his riches is, and you're gonna see the wealth of your life through the outcome or the external extent of your life. Are you always running into bullshit? Are you always having problems? Are you always having issues? Or is somebody always irking your nerve? Is somebody always on some bullshit? Are you always expecting the bad or the worst? Are you always seeing things and expecting and hoping that it ain't this and it ain't the worst? Or are you believing that everything is good and everything works out for the betterment of my life? No matter what the situation may come, I'm still good. I'm still great. My life is great. I live a good life. I'm producing the life that I want, or I'm living out the life I desire. So that's gonna depend on where your treasure is. As we talked about in other videos, a couple of my other videos were um, true wealth, your time, spending your true wealth. One of your commodities of wealth, or one of your medium of exchange of wealth, is your time. It's another spiritual aspect or universal law or God law. Is how you spend your time. That's one of the most valuable things. So that's gonna be all wrapped up into what you believe, your perspective, and all these other things we were just talking about. So, um, your thoughts and the way you believe and the way you perceive, and because it's like this, I dualism, something like dualism. I've seen prosperous Christians, seen poor Christians, prosperous Muslims, seen poor Muslims, prosperous and wealthy Buddhists, atheists. I've seen them all, rich and poor. I've seen them both in the same category. So I'm saying it's all about your inner being. It's not about what you are bringing externally into you, but what you bring externally into you is going to become you. Jesus said in one of the things, it's not what goes into a man, but what comes out of a man and that defiles him. It's what's in your treasury that defiles you. Now, you can bring things inside of you and you will fuck them up, and it's going to produce fucked up things out of your treasury, if that makes sense. So, as I was saying before, you can take the Bible and you can see how many denominations, how many different sets of denominations comes from just a Bible. Pentecostal, Roman Catholic, uh, Anglo Saxons, not Anglo Saxons. You got the Puritans, you got your Jehovah Witnesses, you got your Seventh Day Evangelists, you got your Southern Baptists, you got your evangelical, you got all these different types that are still brought from one source. And it depends on the individual. It doesn't matter what the source is, it's the individual out of their treasure what they're gonna do with it. And it may sound crazy, but there's another show. Chris Tucker said it. Rush Hour. Guns that never killed nobody. It's stupid motherfuckers with guns that can kill people. That unalive people in that manner. So that's different from protecting yourself from a highly aggressive individual or circumstances, and protecting your family and loved ones from a greater or equal threat. Totally different from you feeling a certain way about a certain thing or a certain incident, and something happened that doesn't warrant that, and you're able to take the individual's substance. Anyway, you can find your bias and you can find your rhyme and your reason in the book. But being a good person, no matter what they take in, is going to produce good stuff. I'm a high energetic person. I'm always going to see the best in people, see the best in things. I'm always going to see the truth in things too. That's another thing too. But from your encounter with me, it's going to be different from what it is. If you can't, if I'm going to give you what I'm seeing in you, I'm going to repeat and give you a visual, vocal, or a narrative version of what I see in you. If I tell you that, okay, no, 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 try this, try that, won't you see it this way? And won't you, so it's there and the capability is there and you can see it because I'm seeing it, then you can get different results. But if you're not able to if you're not able to receive that, and even whenever you do get it, when it come out of your treasury, that energy. It's not when that energy is released. It's going to be released in the way that your treasury. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay, okay. I go to Mexico and say that in Mexico they're not taking American money. They're only taking pesos, but there's just an exchange station there where I could take my American dollars. I could take 100 American dollars and get how many pesos that may be. And then while I'm in Mexico, I can spend the pesos freely as I want to. But nobody in Mexico is going to take these American dollars. So the American dollars are the things you may take externally from yourself. And once you bring them into the exchange and you exchange them with what we're doing, and if you're not aware of that, that's what you're doing with the information or the knowledge that you get from the outside. You're exchanging it for the treasuries of your heart, and you're going to conform those things to your currency of your heart, and you're going to spend your currency that way. So if I'm a despiteful, sneaky, conniving individual, no matter what information that I get, I'm always going to see it from a sneaking, conniving, get over individual perspective. If I see it from a prosperous, multiplying, uh, uh, um, and capitalizing on things, no matter what I get from here, that's the way I'm going to envision it and see it out of my treasury. It's going to produce that in my life. And if it's half and half, that's what you're gonna get in your life. It just you have to understand that you are the what I call it a while ago, the exchange station. So if you want a better way to spend your funds or to spend the things, or you want a better result in your life, exchange the station in the inside. You can fix it. You can allow those other perspectives and the other things to be seen and be viewed for what they are as you receive them instead of perverting them through your vision and through your treasury and through your notion. You better bring it through your what I just called it. Whenever you're bringing the money in and you're flipping it over, you're at that station. It fails my mind. But anyway, when you're at that station, you better say, huh, I know a place that does spend American dollars, do take American dollars. It's right down the road. How about go over here and spend those American dollars? Yeah, you can still also use the currency for over here, for over there. That's like the little child thing I'm talking about. You be able to see and understand, well, I can't take it. Well, I don't, because that's what you give a kid enough information, and he'll begin to understand, recognize, and operate up under that law that he already has. And another thing about a kid is he has integrity where he'll hold you to that same damn law that you gave him. If you tell him not to lie, steal, and cheat, you better not get caught lying, stealing, or cheating because he's going to hold you to that law because he's operating from that law. But anyway. So when we bring those things into us, when we come as that child, and we understand from that place of understanding is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, because they're able to attain whatever it is that it is to attain from that concept and that knowledge and understanding that the money exchanger. That's what it is, the money exchanger. So when I come to the money exchanger, um, I'll come to the God inside of me, my core essence. That for me, that is my money exchanger. So I see love, peace, prosperity. I see longevity. I don't see drama. I don't see uh, uh, bullshit jail time. I don't see um, poor, lack, homelessness, and I don't see all those other things. I see these other things, and lawfully my energy is spent there. Other things strive towards that and bring those things to me. From out of my treasury, do I receive those things back? I don't go to Mexico at the money currency exchange, give them American dollars. They give me pesos. I don't go spend the pesos at the Mexican merchants, and the Mexican merchants give me back American dollars. It don't work that way. They give me back pesos. On my departure out, I can take my pesos and exchange them back to whatever, however I'm going. If that makes sense. So I said, if you can't get back to that place, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. And the next verse says, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as a little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whosoever shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me. So here we go. When we were dealing with the money exchanger being your treasury, your core part, your inner person, this is the thing that's above your microscope. This is your single eye. You know in yourself, if you be truthful with yourself, whatever you have made up in your own heart, mind, and soul, ain't a person on this earth, ain't a demon in hell, ain't an angel in heaven, ain't a God in heaven can convince you and change you of what you've made up your mind to do. Right? So that would take the real definition of humbling um, and belittling yourself in a sense. And the reason I'm going to say that is because you have to understand that your higher consciousness is that invisible energy force that we talked about, is that thing that's in between your ears, behind your eyeballs, and that infinite darkness. And when you close your eyes, in between the back of your head and the front of your eyeballs, and as deep as the north, east, and west of your ears are, if you were to close your eyes and shut your mouth, you're gonna hear, you're gonna speak too, you're gonna understand, you're gonna think, and you're gonna hear all that force of energy, that being of who you are. Uh, to actually bring it up under the microscope and bring it to that single being of who you are, listen to what it's saying, listen to what it's thinking, listen to what it's hearing, and you can understand what type of treasury it is or what type of sources it's going to produce out. So, okay. So when you come back to that, you understand that you have higher conscious, you have your lower conscious, you have your emotions, you have your feelings, you have your earthly, or they call it the carnal mindset. You have your carnal mindset 99% of the time, if you're not careful, is what's operating and what's producing at the money exchange or the currency exchange station and the money exchange station. It is the physical mind. That's the motherfucker out there that's changing currency for the next thing, producing. It's not your subconscious. It's your forefront. It's your most of the time. Like I say, if you haven't grown to understand and grow into your higher consciousness or vibrate on a different level or to get out of self and understand, then it's going to be the thing that's producing this stuff in your life. And everything in this life that it produces is temporal. You're happy one minute, you're sad the next minute. You're ecstatic the next minute, you're very low the next minute. You're in between, you're moody. You're depressed, you're ecstatic. You know what I mean? You're in love, you're out of love. You're pissed off at the person you're in love with. You're mad at the happy at the same thing. You're pissed off at the same thing you were just in love with. You know that's the physical world. It's not. You know what I mean? It's not sustaining. Um, like self-esteem. I don't need the world. I don't need anyone else to make me feel like I'm the shit. I know I'm the shit because I'm the only shit like me. You should feel the same way about yourself, and that's not a bad thing. I'm saying, so except for my own thing. And if I'm feeling bad, it's because of something I've done. And if I'm feeling bad about something I've done, then I'm not gonna feel bad long about it because I know that there's something that can be done. That's from my experiences. So anyway, whenever my physical, what most people regular physical carnal self is money is changing, my spiritual money is changing, it's catching that bullshit and it's changing it back for other better shit. It teaches me the lessons in my growth. To find out that my treasure in my heart, I will get those things, and those things are being ever produced in my life. And the most time I realize, when I do realize the love, joy, and happiness, and the great things that I have, I'm already been living in it, and that's not being funny. I expected the life that I live. I spoke the life that I live. I dreamed about the life that I'm living, and I'm getting the love, peace, and joy, and happiness, and I have a great life, and I'm living a great life in spite of whatever, however, someone else may want to try to currency exchange it for. And we talked about last week. Now I understand when things are fucked up. And it's okay not to be okay. I can understand when things are situations are what they are. But I know that even in a jacked up situation, it's for me to have a uplifting experience. It's for a learning purpose. It's either gonna embetter me by either propelling me to go somewhere, or it's gonna help propel me going somewhere by losing myself from it. If it's not going to produce me any good, then I won't be able to reproduce any more of that stuff that's not going to produce me no good, and my energy can go to where it needs to go. But you are the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is in that same place that we talked about earlier, where the voice that's speaking, the voice that's hearing, the two different individuals that's thinking about what was said and what was heard. That is the kingdom of heaven. And you enter into the energy force that you are, and you are the greatest in that place. For there is nothing that will be held from you. There will be nothing that you won't get to experience. There won't be nothing you won't be able to attain in this life. You know? So I believe a lot of people, which because energy works this way, we have dualism, and this whole realm would not exist without dualism, is that even the people that's fucked up in heart can still become materially rich and materially wealthy without having inner true peace, true wealth, true happiness, shit that money can't buy. They can't buy you being happy with your mate. They can't buy you being happy with your kids and your family and your lifestyle. They can't buy you being happy with yourself so as you can be happy with your mate and can be happy with, because what I understand is if I'm happy with myself, then I'm pretty well straight. I don't depend on my happiness from no one else. They just get to embark in my enjoyment of life. I get to embark in their enjoyment in life. I'm not a producer of happiness. I'm just a component of it, just as well we all are. And we should be all contributors and components and the ones that get to experience the happiness and the joy. But that is it. Your higher consciousness is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. But the greatest in the kingdom of heaven is you and your ability to be converted back to like a child in a sense, to get to back into an adolescent state of energetic being, not in an adolescent state of being. There's another verse that says, I can't think of what else it says, with the wisdom of with uh, the elders and the strength of the youth will make a unstoppable force. So take the wisdom, knowledge, and experience that you've had out of your life and calendar year calendar year 48 and the experiences that I have in life. When I'm converted as a little child and I'm brought back when I was brought back, and I continue to go back into those states in my mind, that I take this maturity level with me, but I take the energy, energeticness, and I don't know it all fucking attitude. It can't go with me. I know it all. That's what a kid don't fucking know it all. That's why they always asking why. What for? When? Why? When? What? What is this? What is that? Ooh, what is this? Why do I do that? That's the receiving that allows you to be a receiver, whatever it is in the kingdom of heaven. That's the greatest thing that it is about you in the kingdom of heaven, et cetera, et cetera. That's what to make you the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, and makes that available to you and to your energetic force. Kingdom of heaven, outside I say that outside of just being your mental plane or your spiritual kingdom up in here, because this is where all and everything take place, and everything else is handled outside of this place. This is your treasury, your thoughts, your mind, your opinion, your views. Out of that treasury is where everything else manifests. So go into the kingdom of heaven as a little child. And woe, and it goes into the woes and all this other stuff. So when your lower consciousness, it tells you your lower consciousness is better for you to tie a milestone around your neck and cast yourself in the ocean for trying that shit. Don't allow yourself to hear, because this isn't outward stuff. This is all inward stuff. All this and that passage in 18 is inwardness. It's dealing with you. It's you dealing with yourself. You growing within yourself. And at 6 it says, "But whosoever shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it will be better for him that a milestone will hang about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe unto the world because of offense, for it must needs be that offense comes. But woe to that man by whom the offense cometh. Wherefore, if my hand or my foot offend me," you know, talking about cutting all these other things off. So all of this deals with certain stuff and certain things. Okay, so with my for me, with my lower consciousness and my lower understanding on my carnal consciousness, it was woe unto him that was hindering me from getting to him. He had to be crucified at the end. In order for me to be who I am, he had to be crucified. He had to be hung, beat, stripped, ripped, beat down in order for me to be here. He had to be murdered, betrayed, and all this other stuff. All my right hand had to be cut off. My eye had to be plucked out. The way that I envision things, the way that I handle things, you know, it's better to go into your spiritualness. Um, let's say seeing halfway right than it is seeing or acting all wrong. In a sense, if that makes sense. And saying it's better for you to enter into paradise with one hand, or it's better for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven with a little bit of understanding than to have two hands of corruption that's going to take the kingdom of heaven and bring it here, and the money is changing exchange for hell, and you create pain, anguish, scarf. Damn, pick up that nigga again. I hate to see that nigga coming, man. He always negative. He always ain't got nothing good to say. And no matter what's going on, he ain't gonna help you. So you're gonna take whatever that is and you're gonna put it to the money exchange and produce that. And saying it's better that you understand enough or have enough knowledge to say that this certain subject or this certain thing or this certain topic or this certain belief, it can't enter there. The reason you're gonna say that is because you're gonna understand that it ain't of a higher consciousness. If you understand more and more about the scripture, you know that the heavens and the earth, things of the earth ain't going to the heavens. It's going to be all spiritual things. Things that belong to the spirit, and that's the only thing that's going to be bounded on the earth that's going to be able to go to the heavens is the experience, the thought, the energy. It's not the physical thing. We're not going to dig too much into it on this tonight on this channel, but anyway. So the understanding about that is all the mental. It's all the understanding that you are God. So if God take counsel with him wise self or its wise self, God doesn't need anyone else to make any decision or do anything else. And so are you, bro. That's the point I'm making. For you to enter into the kingdom of heaven, you got to understand these things. And you're gonna have to see those things for what they are. And you're gonna have to see yourself accountable for all and every action that was created in your life, in your being. If they're from your perspective, if they're from your belief, if they're from your truth, no matter who the hell or where the hell you got them from. I want to thanks for the like. Don't know who sent it. Thanks for the viewers that came on. Thanks for everybody that showed up tonight for themselves. Um, you was able to take something that we talked about tonight, see it and understand it, that you're going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, into your heavenly bone, and see that you are the greatest into the kingdom of heaven. You're going to humble yourself. You're going to be able to humble yourself to where when the truth comes, you're not going to stand before the truth and call it a lie. It's like a post that I put up on TikTok, and I think I shared on here as well, where it's, people can't receive the truth because they accept it. How did I put that? People can't receive the naked truth because they've accepted a clothed lie because it looks good. You don't dress it up, make the lie feel good. Whatever the hell makes you sleep at night, whatever makes you work and make you go about your day and handle yourself. If that lie is what it is, you'll never receive the truth. Because when the truth comes, you already have a truth. There's no room for two truths. That makes sense. A lot of people are built off a certain way, a certain logic, and a certain psyche that they live off of, and that's their truth. And so, you can't serve two masters. You can't serve two truths. Either you're gonna hate one and despise the, you're gonna love one and despise the other one, and hate one. So one gonna have to go. Anyway, I want to thank you for coming out to our What's Up Wednesday show. Join us next week if I'm able to. Got a lot going on. Daughter and grandson moving back to the home. So it'll be the last time I'll be in this part of this bedroom. I'll be back. Um, I'll be back in the office area downstairs. Next week, if I'm able to get on next week or next time you see me, that's where I'll be back. I'll be back down there with a different background. Um, I'm gonna be remodeling the home, so that's gonna take me working in the home and outside the home. Keep everything going. So I'm gonna be getting on as much as I can when it's possible. Um, so I do want to thank you. Keep up for the keep your lookouts on the notifications. Thank you for investing in yourself. Thank you for your energy that allowed you to be attracted to the video, no matter whenever it is that you will see this show today, later on. Um, like, share, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Um, but if nothing else, continue to work on your self mastery. We're going to bid you a good night for the night. Peace, love, prosperity, and extreme health and wealth to all. And you guys have a great, great night.